We'll begin our meeting. I think Dan's going to start off here for our organizational meeting. We're going to start with the pledge, I suppose, right?
Yep.
We'll join us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Unless somebody objects, we would like to take nominations for a slate of officers.
I would so move that we continue 2014 with the same officers that we presently have.
That would be Todd as president, Larry as vice president, and Melissa as secretary.
Yes.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Okay. Are there any other motions?
I move the nominations be
Is
closed.
there a second?
Second.
All in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so we're voting on the slate of officers, which would be Todd, Larry, and Melissa. All in favor of that slate, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? You are elected again.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's all about the campaigning, really. Item 1.5, setting the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
There's not.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Carries. Audience participation. Members of the audience that would like to speak to any agenda items this evening? We'll have another chance here in a little while.
You know Gary's wife, Cheryl?
Huh? I do? You looked at me like you wanted to say something.
No, I don't.
You care to speak?
No.
Because here we will observe. Well, thanks for coming. In case you had a choice in that. Under Section 2, we have our consent agenda. And we need to pull some items out and consider those separately, which would be 2.1, the appointment of corporation treasurer, 2.4, appointment of legislative liaison, 2.5, appointing members to the strategic plan committee, and 2.6, establishing legal counsel. Beyond those, are there any other items under the consent agenda that a board member would like to have pulled separately? If not, I would entertain a motion then to accept the consent agenda, noting 2.1, 2.4, 2.5, and 2.6 will be pulled and considered separately.
So moved.
Second.
Have motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we will consider 2.1, appointment of corporation treasurer. Do we continue on, or do you?
I would propose that the corporation treasurer be Lori Vanderbilt.
For the recommendation, I'll entertain a motion on the recommendation. So,
Second.
have motion and second, discussion. Do we have to do the bonds separately, or is that, we already did that in the consent?
We have done the bonds. I am bonded as well to do that and maintain that.
Okay, we have motion and second for Roy Vanderweel, corporation treasurer. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2.4, legislative liaison. I believe I am currently the legislative liaison.
You are.
So I would certainly entertain a motion if there's other considerations for that. If not, I'm happy to continue.
I'll make a motion that Todd remain the legislative liaison.
Second.
Have motion and second, discussion. And in case there's any expectation of me bringing any reports or recommendations on same-sex marriage, you can think of it. Stay totally away from that topic this year. Any other nominations or what have you? If not, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 2.5, appointment of members to the Strategic Plan Committee.
And this would be basically what we're working on a facility study. We need 2 people to be elected to that, they would know, they would come to all the meetings. Everybody is certainly welcome to come to the meetings, but I'd like to have 2 board members who are elected to come. And we're using this time instead of, which one did we get rid of?
Student services.
Student services, so this is taking the place of the student services this time.
I know we're gonna have a mad rush here. Anybody, first of all, anybody have a strong interest or an interest in doing so?
When would the meetings be?
Well, they would be during the week, and once we got the group together, we'd probably try to find the best day for people to meet.
During the day?
Or no, they'd be in the evening, but they'd be, we'd probably try to find the best day for the group to meet, and then there would be subcommittees that would do different meetings. So,
I wouldn't mind volunteering.
okay.
Thank you, Melissa. Is there anyone else?
Okay, yeah, I'll.
There's a reluctant volunteer. Thanks, Gary. Well, I would suggest a motion to consider Melissa and Gary, if somebody wants to make that motion.
So moved. Second.
A motion and second for Melissa and Gary to be appointed members of the Strategic Plan Committee. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you both for stepping up for that. Item 2.6, establish legal counsel.
My recommendation is that we would stay with our same legal counsel, which would be Easter Day and Hubble, represented by Jeff Bouillon.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Discussion? I think that's a great recommendation, Jeff. Really appreciate your counsel to this board. We have a motion and second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, I think that brings us to, did I do everything correctly? We're on business transactions. 3.1, conflict of interest statements.
Yes, this is not an action item. This is just on here to say that we are doing this. We have until the end of the month to have all these done. We usually try to have them done by this meeting, but with not being in school because of the blizzard of 2014, we still have some that haven't been signed, but it's just there for you to acknowledge that we're doing and have on public record that we've done.
The minutes will please reflect that we acknowledge those have been considered. 3.2, consider snow makeup day, January 20, 2014.
We had a day right before Thanksgiving break that we had to miss, and we've discussed this with the Public Education Association, and January 20th is the first snow makeup day that there is, and so I would recommend that that's the day we use to make that up. Whether you have or haven't heard, Superintendent Ritz has said that Monday and Tuesday of this week will be waiver days. So I will apply for a waiver not only for Monday and Tuesday, but also for Wednesday, because the reason we can't go Wednesday is because our diesel fuel looks like jelly. And it's because of the extreme cold, and that's the reason that she gave for Monday and Tuesday being out. So we'll apply for all three. I doubt if we get all three, but we'll probably get 2 of the 3. But this is for the one that was the day before Thanksgiving when we were, the week of Thanksgiving break when we were out.
You've heard the recommendation. I entertain a motion to have January 20th as a snow make, or I don't know if that was snow, as a makeup day. Yeah.
So moved. Second.
Was it snow?
Fog.
No, that was last year.
Fall. That's fall.
Last year was fall, this year was snow. Yeah.
We had a snow day in November?
I think
How
so.
soon we forget?
It was bad.
Maybe it was fall.
It was weather related.
It's photographic
I
memory.
think that's the one that took you off the cookie list, wasn't it?
I can tell you. Sandy can tell you for sure.
That's
I don't know
okay.
why I
It was snow.
Thank you. We have motion and second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 3.3, permission to hire.
Yeah, we just, getting into that time of the year, we'd like to jump on hiring as quickly as possible. We find that we get the best people when we go out. For the most part, these are all people who have, the opening is because of the resignation. There's two on there, though. The ag teacher and the security monitor assistant. Those are new positions. They are built into the budget, so they're there. The ag teacher, our ag teacher already has a full schedule plus about a half of another schedule, which is great, and we kind of anticipated that, and so we had looked at going to the junior high for the other half of the day. The good thing about that is the ag teacher is vocational dollars, so basically the ag teacher will be, the state will be paying us to hire this ag teacher, so it's getting a teacher for nothing. The security monitor assistant, as you know, we're doing the project where they're putting the cameras in, and they will all deadhead over into a room over in the into the newly remodeled building, and we're going to need somebody to watch the cameras to be able to radio if there's an issue someplace, and so be hiring an assistant to do that. So I would like permission to go ahead and hire those positions.
Let's get it on the table. You heard the recommendation for the permission to hire. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Discussion.
I think it's very important when you're looking at finding math and science teachers to get as early a start as you can get. Hard to find.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 3.4, report on strategic planning.
Okay, well, you approved the strategic plan, so I thought we would just give you if I can open it up. There we go. Thought I would give you a kind of an outline of what we're doing to start with. Be working on 4 different things to start with. The 3 to 5 year financial plan. Candy will start on that as she empties the books. As she closes the books for 2013.
You said you are bonded, right?
Another goal, a facilities goal, I will be working on that. We'll be putting together, along with the 2 school board members, a group of teachers, administrators, parents, business, industry representatives, to study the facility needs of Plymouth Community Schools and to develop a plan for future work or building that needs to be done. Teaching and learning, Dan Funston will study the need for personalized learning, and Michelle Reese will study the viability of a balanced calendar. And the communication goal, I'll work with several others to continue working on a plan for marketing and a new website. So That's where we'll start out, and we'll try to give you an update just about every meeting, as long as we have something pertinent to say, and go from there.
Sounds good. Any questions for Dan? I think when we went through this process, we wanted to make sure that we get periodic updates and accountability that we're moving forward, so appreciate that. Good. 3.5, approve temporary warrants.
Yes, there are two funds, the CPF, Capital Projects Fund, and Transportation Fund, where I have estimated a shortfall in cash flow because of the timing receiving the property tax installments from the county. I am asking the school board to approve the borrowing of funds from the Indiana Bond Bank on behalf of the school corporation.
Heard Candy's recommendation for the transportation and CPF tax anticipation warrants. We're here to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions?
This is pretty standard with the delay of monies received, so it's nothing different than we've done in the past.
Correct. Have a motion and a second then. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Candy. 3.6, consider property casualty workers' comp insurance carrier.
Yes, Mr. Jeff Huynh and I together rummaged through all of, we had three companies do a request for proposal or quotes on what we had asked them. And the contract we entered into prior to January 1st of 2014 in order to avoid any lapse in coverages in the timing of this board meeting. And we are asking the board to ratify the contract with Gibson Insurance Agency pursuant to Indiana Code 20-26-5-4A19, retroactive to the contract date of January 1st. And I can tell you that from doing this, the cost savings from last year to this year, about $110,000.
That's on the policy premium?
That's on the corporate, on the liability, or comp, crime, all of those types of policies.
Were there any deductions in the policy, or decreases, I should say, on coverage?
No, no decrease on coverages.
Or deductibles or anything like that?
No increase on deductibles, everything stayed the same. There happened to be another company that is able to bid in commercial for school staff. And that's when, they've been around for a long time.
So competition's a good thing, is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
So the competition, okay, saved us about $110,000.
Yes, it is.
Pretty good.
That's good. For the recommendation, is there a motion then to accept Gibson as the insurance carrier as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second to accept Gibson as the insurance carrier for property, casual, workers' comp. Any other questions or discussion? And that would be retroactive to January 1st. Any other, or excuse me, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 3.7, consider classified conditions and pay increases.
In order for an employee to receive the pay raise, they had to be highly effective or effective on his or her evaluation. They must have worked 120 days from January 1 to December 31st, and the raises ranged from 2.1 to 4.1%.
Which is,
In standing with what we did for administrators and certified staff.
you've heard a summary of the conditions of pay increases. Any, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second. Discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Anybody?
Sammy, who does the evaluation? Ken?
Who does the evaluations?
Yeah.
And it's generally the principal for aides and staff under them. Gloria Burnham's head cooks do their cafeteria staff, and then she does the building head cooks. Dave Schoaf, in combination with recommendations from the building principals, does the maintenance staff. Dan has done ours, Michelle does the office here. Any others? Miss anybody? Rick Scott does the transportation.
Thank you.
I lost my train of thought. We voted it, correct?
Yes.
3.8, consider superintendent's contract. If you recall, we had a hearing on this, and it seems like forever since we met, doesn't it?
Last year?
Yeah, somebody had to say it. We had a hearing on the superintendent's contract. For recollection or refresh memory, the increase in the Hayes contract is $4,500. And it would be, in essence, a 4-year contract and rolling over to 4 years, of July of 14 to June of 18, June 30.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second to approve the superintendent's contract. Any discussion?
I just comment, I think Mr. Tyree and his staff did a good job, and our corporation is probably one of the few statewide that's in good financial condition, and I think a lot has to be said on his leadership, and very deserving.
Thank you.
I would echo that. Any other comments?
I agree.
While we're watching.
Close.
If we don't get back to school soon. We have motion and second. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 3.9, consider agreement for residential services.
I would like the board to approve the agreement between Oklahoma Schools and the Department of Education. This agreement provides the residential services for one of our students. We actually had to apply to the DOE so that the funding for his care would be provided by the state and not us, and we were granted that. So I would like a recommendation for that approval, please.
Heard the recommendation, we'll consider or entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Did you get that?
Melissa?
Okay. Have a motion and second to approve the agreement for residential services. Discussion or questions?
Where do the residential services occur?
This young man is at TC Harris in West Lafayette.
The state pays 100% of everything?
Except for the portion that we get from the state, we're,
Administrative duties?
no.
The state
The
support.
state support, thank you. Couldn't think of the name.
State
Frozen.
support. And that's typical, it's kind of like a transfer tuition,
Okay.
if there's a 515 form.
We were very lucky, they only grant a few, so.
Right.
Well, thank you. Any other questions? Have a motion and second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. What's this on there? Am I supposed to do something different?
No.
Okay. Under section 4, then, superintendent remarks. Dave?
Let's see, under the core values, commitment to students. Recently, Riverside students made a pledge to stop bullying. Francesca Quintero, Addison Shireman, and Sophia Smith developed this pledge sheet for students to sign. Students who signed up, who signed the pledge got a blue ribbon and to wear, and it was very successful. All of the students were involved in signing and making that pledge. And as you know, bullying is very much in the highlights right now. 4.3, high expectations. State auditors are here presently at Plymouth. After reviewing last year's audit exceptions that we had, it was found that the corrections had been made successfully. So we are happy that we've been able to take care of those, and there won't be any exceptions in those areas this year. Team players, thanks to our maintenance staff, our custodial department, for spending many hours during the minus wind chill, 45 degrees below zero outside, clearing the parking lots and the sidewalks and the steps and everything they had to do to get ready for school to come back to order. So I'd like to thank them for, while the rest of us were warm inside, being outside taking care of the grounds. 4.5, integrity. For the safety of our staff and students, we did not have school the last 2 days. We will be out again tomorrow because of the consistency of the diesel fuel. Hopefully we'll be back in. I don't think Plymouth was, from talking to other superintendents, we weren't the only school that had that issue. Blizzard conditions and low temperatures made it unsafe to have school the last couple of days. And then the next meeting is February 4th, 2014, right here in this room. Hopefully it won't be quite so cold.
Any questions for David? And I would like to echo for those that have been out working on this. I went outside for a few minutes the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how they've done it, and appreciate all their efforts. I do have a question. Driving in, I noticed a lot of sidewalks that I would assume would be part of our walking area haven't been cleared yet. Is that something that, I'm assuming that's a city issue, is that, and, who's responsible? Or maybe did I see it wrong? Along Michigan, what street? Is that?
Michigan
It's in front of the high school.
Randolph.
City ordinance makes it the responsibility of the property owner.
I'm sorry?
The city ordinance makes it the responsibility of the property owner to clear the sidewalks.
That would be ours. I'll call somebody.
Well, maybe I just didn't see it clearly. It didn't look like they were.
That's the hardest one, because when they plow the streets, they plow it right back up on the sidewalks, and so it's.
I just had visions of kids walking down the street that walk to school. And
It'll be cleared before school gets in session.
What struck me is I saw some different kids or people walking along Michigan this morning because the sidewalks were impassable. This is not, we can't have that.
Nope.
Oh, when school's out there, they've got a way of getting around no matter what's in their way. So they'll make it to the mall or whatever. I received a phone call, and there was a suggestion made, when notification is made, instead of saying there is no school tomorrow, could the date be given, the day and the date be given?
I'm sure it could.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had the same reaction when I got a call from you, that no school tomorrow. I was like, well, what if I didn't listen to that until tomorrow? Was that today or was that yesterday?
Yeah, that was, so for like tomorrow, say Wednesday, January 8th.
Right. I'm sure
Thank
we
you.
could. I'll tell you the reason that we haven't is because we send it out both in English and in Spanish,
Oh, do you?
and for me to do it, like today, for me to do it and then do it in Spanish, I wouldn't be able to do it in Spanish, so it would only go out in English, but
Oh, okay.
I could do it. I think people would understand the school's closed, I don't think that's, but that's the reason we do it ahead of time,
Okay.
like that. But we can do it very easily, with the date and money.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Anything from the audience? 6.1, entertain a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and second to adjourn, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned, don't run anywhere, we've got a finance